Oh, hey guys. We've got a little Suzuki Jimny in today. We're going to do a snorkel install on it. I've sort of already started prepping it for the snorkel. First thing we do is remove the inner guard and the mud flap. Get that out from in there so we can access inside the guard. The next thing we also do, the Jimnys have a little vacuum tank that is sitting up in the inner guard there, which becomes in our way when we're running the snorkel through there. So you've got to remove that out from in there. Once you've got that out, pretty much you can mask up your guard area, put your template on, and cut the hole out, as you can see what I've done here. There is also another cut in the inner guard a little bit further, which is this little bit here. There's a little bit of reinforcing that just sits up in there. You've got to move that so the back of the snorkel doesn't foul on it. So once you get that out, you're pretty much right to start plumbing the snorkel through. The other thing that we do remove is the factory intake hose. We get rid of that and we have a fabricated piece that replaces it. That also then holds the vacuum tank, so that the vacuum tank gets moved into the engine bay onto a mounting bracket. In your snorkel kit, you'll get this new intake pipe that we fabricate. That's the bit that sits in the engine bay, basically to plumb the snorkel piping up to. And then it also has a bracket on there which accommodates the vacuum tank. So it basically goes on like so, gets bolted onto the original fastenings and then mounts in there to get it out of the way. When I do a snorkel, I just sort of recommend to tape up around your seams, any gaps like in your flares, door moulds and stuff like that, because your metal swarf always gets in down there and then it rusts and stuff as soon as moisture gets into it. So I just recommend to do that. Throw a sheet over it before you're cutting. But yeah, we're pretty much up to a stage where we'll start fitting the snorkel now. All right, also in the kit, you get this bit of piping that runs on the inner guard. So your snorkel will go in and then it will attach to a 45-degree silicone. Then this tube here will run up on the inner guard. Reason being, we have a drain in it. This then sits lower than what the airbox is, because on a Jimny the airbox sits up really high on top of the motor. So if you were to ever get water in it, it means the water would get trapped down in this lower section and then potentially could suck into the airbox. So we have a drain on this bit of pipe, a bit of hose and a ball valve basically, and once that's mounted up in there, the hose gets put down so you can access it and either have it open for day-to-day driving just in case it's raining and water gets in there, and you can close the valve off when you do river crossings and stuff like that. Now we're up to the stage where the hole's cut. We can fit the snorkel into the actual hole and then line it up onto the pillar. Obviously mask up this area so you don't scratch it. This is how we mark out for the pillar bracket basically. So you just want to get it so you see it's fitting in where it's meant to sit nicely. Leave the bracket loose onto the snorkel, that way you can pivot it around and move it and stuff. So now I'm happy with where it's sitting. I'll just mark around the bracket. Go through with like a 1/8 drill bit or something and pilot hole the 3 holes. And then what you want to do is you want to take the holes out to a 9mm for the nutcert to fit in there. Once we've done that, clean up the holes, deburr it, rust proof it, put the nutcerts in, and then you can mount your bracket up. Alright guys, we've got the snorkel installed now. I've just put the piping in through the inner guard that runs through and then connects up to the airbox. That piece of pipe is the lowest point because on a Suzuki Jimny, the airbox is sitting up on top of the engine, so it sits a lot higher. So we've had to put a drain in that piece of piping, so if water lays in there, we can drain it out. Basically, we've got a hose that runs down through into the engine bay with a ball valve on it, and that's its lowest point that you can open that and drain it, just in case you get any water in for the snorkel in torrential rain or anything like that. Obviously, if you're going to go through river crossings, you shut the valve closed.